Hey everybody, welcome back. This is the GG Rated Live Show, episode 15, and this is our restart stream since we had a little bit of sound difficulties before, but that's sorted out now. And I'm your host, the Iceman, and this week we're missing one member. Hydra's out on vacation. He's enjoying sun in the Mediterranean, and I see him right now in the water, swimming around, jumping off the boats. So, I mean, he's right now living it up, partying it up. And he's going to be with us hopefully next week, but right now he's out enjoying the sun and relaxing. But back with us this week is our friend Sebastian. How are you doing, Sebastian?
I am doing good, even though I have been responsible for weird sounds to happen on this show. I'm very glad to be back, and I will try to provide good and insightful comments rather than disturbing noises. It's good to be back on GG Rated, Iceman.
Yeah. We thought we had everything sorted out, but one background sound just seemed to creep up out of nowhere. But we got that sorted out, and we're ready to get this thing rolling and hit up all the epic action from the previous week, because we were graced with two major final events in the Starcraft world, among other tournaments that took place. So definitely plenty to talk about and review, and I'm glad you're back
Indeed.
joining us this week. But I
I'm
guess
very
we'll
happy to be back. I had a GG Rated withdrawal. But do go on, Iceman.
yeah. Uh, I guess we'll keep going with our regular fashion as we usually start off with the news from Korea. So let's head into the GSL May as things wrapped up in Korea, and then we'll move on to other foreign events. Sound good?
It does sound good, even though I think it's safe to say, especially the way some Korean events turned out, that this week the main events are the foreign events. But let's start in Korea, where there's some foreign flavor to be savored as well.
Yes, yes. Thank you for that excellent plug. Um, with that
Haha.
with that excellent segue, let's move into the GSL May up and down matches. We reviewed the previous groups last week, but we still had four groups to cover for this week. And for the up and down matches in the GSL May, we had Group E, which featured Slayers MMA, Marine King Prime, and the Little Brotoss Liquid Hawk. And Hydra and I had discussed this group last week a little bit, and we were trying to predict who would come out. Marine King Prime made it out unscathed. He stays in Code S, and surprise, surprise, our hero Liquid Hawk stays in Code S as well, whereas Slayers MMA will remain in Code A. But I mean, Liquid Hawk surprised me. His builds were just solid. It looked like he had planned his builds out specifically for each map that he was playing, and he just executed them flawlessly. And Slayer's MMA was just dismantled by Huck, and it was really nice to see, because I think this was a different level of quality we've seen from Huck, in my opinion. And I mean, he just proved his salt with this, and it was this just sweet victory to see Huck do so well. So I was happy with that result. And in Group F,
Word.
we have MVP Violet advancing to the Code S. Xenix Kirix stays in Code S, and OGS The Wind now falling to Code A. And we also talked a bit about this last week, and we kind of expected that The Wind might have a bit of problems since he's more focused on coaching duties for the OGS team rather than actual gameplay. So, yeah, these results were not very surprising, I would say. Anything would you like to add before we
No,
move on to the next two groups?
no, I can only reiterate how interesting, and if there's any upset or unexpected thing in these results, it would be that Liquid Huck stayed in there. Not because I don't believe in him, but simply because he has had a hard time proving his worth in Korea, and now he has cemented the fact that he is indeed Code S material. But as so many other people of that caliber, he's been down in the Code A swamp. Actually, that's where he spent most of his time. And now he is showing us that the foreign presence in Korea is strong and represented by him as well as others. It is simply great to see, and something that many had stopped believing in.
Mm-hmm. Definitely. Let's move on to the groups G and H, and we'll go through those rather quickly. For Group G and H, Group G, we had I Am MVP advancing to Code S. This is where he belongs, and his level of play basically dictates and shows that he's obviously in the Code S, and the little slip up where he fell to the Code A was just that, a slip up. And for me, this is great news to get one of the powerhouse players back into the Code S, into his natural habitat where he belongs. Also joining him, TSL Rain will be staying in Code S, and Startail Rainbow will now be in Code A. Moving on to Group H, Startail Bomber advances to Code S. He was quite the powerhouse in Code A this past season, so this was not a very shocking result, really, to see him go to Code S. Foxlin, now in Code A, and OGS and Snare stays in Code S. So I would say those results are pretty straightforward. Anything would you like to add to those before we move on to the main meat of the GSL?
No, only that it's very nice to see MVP back where he belongs. I grew quite fond of him up there at the Lonely Mountain top, and he makes quite a striking image up there. So GG to that, but not overly surprising. He's very skilled as well as the others. And also I'm very eager about moving on to other topics here on GG Rated today.
Right. Let me just pull up real quick all the charts for who's actually staying in the Code S and who's actually advancing, etc., etc., because I have some screenshots of those real quick.
Let's do that.
Real quickly, as you guys can see on the screen, you should be able to see that there are a few players that have made it to the Code S, as well as a few players that will be staying behind, and just reviewing all these groups. For the up and down matches, the players who advanced to the Code S were MVP. Oh, sorry, this is advancing from Code A. MVP Keen, Zenix Coca, TSL Live, MVP Violet, I Am MVP, and Startail Bomber. So those were the players advancing from Code A into the Code S. And now let's look at the players who remained in the Code S real quickly. Players staying in the Code S: Zenix Bjorn, TSL Trickster, OGS MC, Hungen Prime, OGS Xenio, Marine King Prime, Liquid Huck, TSL Rain, Zenix Kyrix, and OGS and Snare. So cheers and hats off to those players as they earned or remained in the Code S. But enough with that, let's get to the finals. I'm sad that Hydra's not... Oh, sorry, go ahead.
No, I just wanted to make a bit of an oomping sound to the finals. Go ahead.
Thanks. Sad that Hydra's not here this weekend because I'm sure he would have had something to say about the finals that took place. For me, frankly, I was a bit disappointed. It was a 4-0, and I was not expecting this. Inca showed a little bit more strength in the group stages and playing through all the rounds of 32, 16, etc. And he just got to the finals, and it felt like instead of shooting himself in the foot, he took a shotgun and blasted his legs off because he basically was his own demise, and Nest-T just destroyed him 4-0 with little to no resistance. And it was kind of funny, before the matches start, they were doing an interview, and Nest-T was saying that Protoss may be strong, but Inca's play is not, so he was going to defeat him quite easily. And then Inca had replied back to him that Nest-T is old and he should retire. It's time for a new champion to take over. And I thought that was funny because Nest-T even predicted that he would win 4-0 if he had won the first match. And his predictions came true exactly like he had said. And I mean, Inca just... he was his own undoing. He just kept going with the same build where he would rush to DTs, and he just messed up with his control of units many times, and his decision-making just seemed to be quite faulty. I'm not sure if it was the pressure of being in the finals or what it was, but he just seemed to struggle, and Nest-T rolled him. And many people I know were disappointed about the results being so one-sided in the finals. But I mean, that happens sometimes. Anything that you would like to add to that, Sebastian?
Well, first of all, I do enjoy seeing Nesty, the Zerg King, take another GSL prize. Zerg Bong, as I'm fond of calling him, he has made such a success story out of being a sucky Brood War player, and I simply enjoy his way of playing Zerg. So good for him. But to be fair, this was not a worthy battle. I don't know how OGS Inca ended up there. I mean, we have the whole GSL to consider, but he was an unlikely opponent for Nesty, who was a likely finalist. And the way he played, as you say, very one-sided and almost gimmicky, and he did mess it up at that. It is simply not Inca's caliber. He is a very good player. He played very well at DreamHack. I had a privilege to see him play live, and he's solid. But he's way more solid in doing half-assed DT openings. As you know, I can only agree with all of Team Liquid and wherever else people argue on the internet. This was a bad final comparatively, and I don't know why. Luckily, we have the GSL Team League and other things coming up, but this was surprisingly very one-sided and not overly entertaining. Huh.
Yeah, it's unfortunate that something as big as the GSL, something like this just happened to not work out as well as people expected. I mean, people I kind of hyped this up and they were expecting a big clash, but maybe some people weren't. But Nesty was just way too strong, and it was completely one-sided. And people were obviously disappointed because they pay for the awesomeness that is the GSL, and when it's a easy 4-0 victory, I mean that's a bit of a letdown. Anticlimactic finals, but luckily for us, we had some awesome action in foreign news, whereas the TSL3 proved to be the exact opposite of what we saw in Korea. And I know you watched plenty of
Very
that.
much so.
So
I did, and that was flabbergastingly awesome, which I think is a technical term. And do we start off with the third, fourth place finals,
yeah,
Iceman?
let's go with those
Or
real
do
quick.
we go straight? Yeah,
Yeah, we'll start off with the third and
sure.
fourth place finals.
Believe you.
As
Yes,
you
I
guys can
believe you
see,
have an image of that.
yes, Empire
Sorry, what
Kaz.
was that?
I was just getting into the results. Empire Kaz, I
Yes.
mean, quite convincingly won over Hasu Obs and took the third place victory in the TSL 3. And I know you were talking to me a bit before the show started that Kaz just outplayed Hasu Obs, and I mean, just a strong player, so he deservedly took the third place win. And for me, the finals were quite action packed. I know that you watched it quite in depth, and you've even been doing a bit of casting on your own time, from what you've been telling me. So I'll let you explain to our viewers a little bit about all the epic action.
Well, thank you, Iceman. I have looked forward to the opportunity of talking to all the four viewers currently of GG Rated about how great it is to be back in casting. And indeed, I've been focusing a lot on players that we've come to know and love from the TSL, partly because on a purely personal level, I've come to really appreciate their styles, especially since many of them are new on the scene, such as Cass and indeed Thorsane. We'll talk more about him later. But Cass impressed me as a Terran player because even though I enjoy looking at creationists like TLO or Spanishua, who's of course playing Zerg, but other out there and very unorthodox players. I also appreciate someone who can just play the game straight up, have a strategic mindset, simply react to what the opponent is doing, deflect it, and then capitalize on the opponent's mistake and faults, and simply being foolproof and indeed stalk blinker proof, as Cass showed in a recent commentary has actually released it today. It was Grubby versus Cass on Terminus RE, and I do recommend people to check it out, especially on my channel, but it's been casted by many others as well. Cass is simply solid, and Hazuobs is nothing less than a ferocious Protoss player. We have truly seen that in the TSL, and seeing these two clash, I mean, it's the third, fourth place final. That is by no means insignificant. Cass here, who won, he got a direct seed into the TSL 4, and Hasobs, I think he won't have to go through the entire grueling stage as well. I think he gets seeded into the round of 64 or 128, at least something like that. Mm-hmm. So it's a lot of not just prestige at stake. These players are pros, and Cass, for me, came out of pretty much nowhere. And he's just a beautiful example of playing Terran, and unlike many others, he's got a style that you as a normal player can mimic and learn from. It is simply solid, and he plays defensively because his strategy is based on not practicing with other pro gamers in a house. He plays thousands of ladder games a month. So you need to be defensive, you need to be reactive, and it pays off so well. It was a beautiful series. I say Cass won it quite convincingly, but Hazuobs, that is a fierce opponent as well.
Yeah, and as you mentioned, no small feat wading through the immense pool of super players that we had on the TSL3. So, I mean, a third and fourth place finish in the TSL3 is nothing to sneeze at whatsoever. But as you were alluding to...
Definitely not.
Go ahead.
No, go ahead and allude.
As you were alluding to, there was even more action between two other newer players who have been recently showcasing their amazing skills. And I'm talking about the finalists, Naniwa versus Thorzane. And let me get that image up on screen. Thorzane just proved too much.
Meat and potatoes.
Yes. Thorzane just proved too much for Naniwa, as this was a full 7-game series, and Thorzane ended up being the victor here. And it seems that everywhere we've turned to lately, Naniwa has just been killing it. And I mean, this guy just seemed unbeatable. But Thorzane found the solution, and I believe you put together a nice highlight reel, so I'll put that on and let you go into detail over the games that took place. So I'll pass the mic to you now.
Well, thank you, Iceman. Yes, indeed, I put on a bit of a highlight reel, and simply put, Naniwa, he won the previous MLG and did so very convincingly. And even though his name was fairly famous in Sweden and indeed Europe, he went there as a nobody comparatively, and he won that event so convincingly. Who would have thunk it? And indeed, before the final here between Thorzane and Naniwa, Team Liquid made a few humoristic videos, and the Naniwa one really highlighted how he uses the 4-gate to the utmost advantage. I do recommend you go to youtube.com/teamliquidnet for some funsies there. But here he was up against the Cinderella story, as he has been dubbed by the community, Thorzane, a Warcraft 3 player who started playing Starcraft 2 like so many others, and like so many others of that kind, they were pitied when they first entered the community. Oh, you have no experience of Broodborn, how cute of you to try. But he truly showed more than most Koreans, actually, because no Korean Warcraft 3 player, that is, has won a major tournament on the international stage yet, but Thorzane did. He and Naniwa got to travel to New York City and fight it out there. And for TSL 4, ladies and gentlemen, I'm sure there will be a spectator event where you can actually go and see this happen. But now it happened in a closed circuit, and it was ferocious. As Iceman already said, it went to a best of 7. I got a highlight reel that's rolling right now, and you can see some of the best glimpses of those matches, and it was beautifully casted by Day9 and Chill, even though there were a few entertaining casting hiccups, especially in the last game, which are worth watching simply because of that. But the pure testament of skill that was showcased by both of these players, it was nothing less than phenomenal. And Thorstein, he just had one leg up on Naniva at the right time, at the right moment. But the last game on Tal'Darim Altar, it was as drawn out, as epic, and as close on the razor's edge as you can possibly get in StarCraft 2 yet. It was one of those games that are up there on the top 10 of the entire StarCraft 2 year, I'd say. It was sublime, and it was its exact opposite at the same time. Very, very, very sharp StarCraft 2 players. But Thorstein, he has truly won the heart of the community. I mean, the Thorstein fan club on Team Liquid has so many pages and thousands of followers. It is a true Cinderella story. And next week, I will be myself starting to do more succinct casts, not just random pro games, but actually I will have a gladiator of the week kind of format. Where I'll showcase games of one particular player versus 5 different opponents on different maps, and hopefully by the end of the week I'll have an interview or a dual commentary with that player. And Thorstein, I so look forward to having him on the show and really getting underneath the skin of his style, his skill, the way he plays StarCraft 2. Can I hype this more, or just let the video do the talking, which is available on my YouTube channel with sound and music, by the way? Guys, this was so fantastic. It was all that the previous Team Liquid Star Leagues in Brood War promised, and it delivered. Team Liquid, they have their issues, especially when it comes to being friendly to newcomers, but man, when they put something together, they do it so well, and they've just raised the bar for anyone ever hosting a tournament, online or offline. And now, Iceman, I've been talking for a very long time. Over to you.
Just listening to you say that so eloquently was just good to hear. Sebastian the Scholar once again has just said it perfectly. I mean, I don't think anybody could have put it better than the way you said it. And your highlight reel just was just classy. So guys, make sure you check that out, because
thank you, man.
On the live stream we weren't able to put the sound because we were listening to Sebastian's mellow voice relate to us how the matches went. But yeah, I mean, TeamLiquid.net sure knows how to put on a tournament, and is it safe to say that we're already craving and looking forward to TSL 4, because this was just epic the entire way through, and I'm already looking forward to the next one, aren't you?
Indeed, I am, man. This is the epitome of StarCraft, and I mean, lag issues, they will always be there when you play online, but the benefits of holding an online tournament in these ages when broadband connectivity is so widespread and fairly reliable is that you can have the best players of the world face each other. And you can have it happen live or on demand, and for no fee in this case. And I wouldn't mind paying $10 or $20 for watching this, absolutely not. And seeing this grow bigger and better with a live final happening somewhere in the world, New York, LA, wherever, I think it's safe to say that the GG-rated crew aim to be there at the next Team Liquid Star League final, wherever that happens, and to live stream from the event as well, though you will most probably be watching the official stream. But in any case, this is so worth going to, so worth enjoying.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind going to the live event of the next one, but yeah, you were so captivated about the thought of a fourth TSL that you just lost your breath there. But let us move on to other topics at hand, because we still do not have a shortage of excellent StarCraft 2 action. And in particular, I think we should move on to NASL and review the results which took place since we last broadcasted. So I will read through the results, and we can go from there, I guess. Would you like to read through the first two, and I'll read through the last two? We'll split the duties a bit there.
Why don't you take the first two, Iceman?
Okay. I'll go for it. Reading from the results for the NASL, We have Sake beating Druby 2-0. Pain User versus Tyler ends with a credited win to Tyler for a 2-0 win. Zenio beating out Cloud 2-0. Boxer facing Mana wins 2-1. Sen versus Idra. Guys, if you have the ticket and you miss these games, check these games out because these are two huge Zerg powerhouse players, and this was an excellent matchup. So check out Sen versus Idra, and Sen ended up winning 2-0, 2-0 there. Then we have
Yeah, I
Kiwikaki.
watched that actually. That was really good.
Yeah, it was. Kiwikaki faced Sheth, won 2-0. Vibe versus Artosis. No surprise, Vibe won 2-0. We have TLO facing Grubby. TLO wins 2-0. And Moon versus Rainbow. Moon won 2-0. And would you like me to continue reading, Sebastian, or would you like to take over the last two sets of results?
Let me take over there, Iceman.
All right, go for it.
I And again, if I can only take the opportunity to reiterate a little bit, that Sen versus Idra matchup.
Go for it.
I don't get to watch the NSL as much as I want. That was really well worth watching.
Yeah.
But yes, and Artosis again got beaten by Vibe, as Iceman said, and TLO versus Grubby was well worth watching as well. TLO took that, and Moon also walked away with the victory. Then we had Swedish player Show versus Moman from France. I'm glad to say that Show won that, and also TT1 taking out NASL's own EG In Control. That must have been a little bit embarrassing, but TT1 is a well-known Protoss player, and I think In Control is a bit out of practice, but definitely not an easy feat either. Cruncher taking 2 victories off Korean player Ensnare. Now, I did not see that coming, and I was surprised to read it. Ensnare, I can't remember a game offhand from the GSL, but I remember him being good. And then we saw Dark Force being soundly defeated by White Raw, and I actually casted games from that series on my channel, so you can check that out. It was quite Dark Force. He'd wanted to win swift and early. White Raw prevented it like a boss. That was pretty beautiful. And then July Cirque stomping over QXC. I mean, I like QXC. He's my boy, as I'm fond of saying, but I like July Cirque more. So all good in that.
Yeah.
And then moving on to here. Nada versus Hey Pro, and there Hey Pro perhaps somewhat surprisingly took the victory, and I regret that I haven't watched that game myself because well, partly because I thought Nada would stomp over Hey Pro, but now my countryman won, and that makes me a bad Swede because I didn't watch it. Axlav, American Protoss, then took out Hey Pro in the consecutive round, and Strelok defeating Moonglade, Australian player that we've heard a lot from in his GSL endeavors, and Nada then taking out Kavai Rice. That's always good to see Nada moving on. He is the old school hope, and Canadian player DDE taking out Slush. That's all good and well. And then Squirtle. Now, of course, if Hydra was here, he would have a lot to say. Squirtle being the Korean pro and Protoss who impressed us all during the very first GSL Team League. He won well, and he did so in a unorthodox fashion. He took out Naniwa, who almost won the TSL and is a powerhouse. PvP, of course, being volatile. That was an interesting result. So a very exciting week in the NASL, which I must say is improving a lot. It's getting a lot better. The casters and the whole production, it is improving, and it's been well worth the 20 or 25 bucks I spent on it, being able to watch it on demand. Good stuff and many interesting battles.
I would definitely agree with you, and the quality has been picking up. The games were always there, the players were there, and it just seems like things are meshing together nicely and slowly now. And it's definitely great to see something on the North American home front with such high caliber that's finally turning out to be a great event and a major event. And with time and with the money and the backing that they have, I mean, I see this growing into one of the StarCraft 2 superpowers that everybody tunes in to watch. So I'm definitely proud to say that that's being hosted here in North America and USA specifically. But if I could rewind a bit
Yeah.
to the matches that were casted, it was a bit funny. I'm not sure if you were able to catch the games, but I was watching the live stream, and Idra and Greytorp were the casters for the groups with Moman, Show, In Control, Cruncher, and the rest of the gang. And Idra is quite the caster, I must say. I really enjoy his commentary, and you can just tell that this guy has a deep understanding for the game. Whether you like him or not as a player, you got to respect this guy's skill and his fundamentals, because he was just able to explain or predict everything. And he even brought some of the Idra, the BM, when they were commentating on Cruncher. Idra was mentioning that Cruncher is a no-name player who's just gotten places with cheese, and that's where his list of accomplishments ends right there. But it was funny to see Greytorp and Idra casting together, specifically because if you guys remember, there was that a little bit of an incident where Greytorp was saying off air about how terrible Idra's play was. So it's this triangle of
Hmm.
irony, I guess you could say, since Idra and Greytorp were casting, and then they were casting Cruncher's game. But good stuff nonetheless, and quite amusing. And the matches proved to be really good stuff. So, I mean, the NASL turning out to be another thing that's going to distract me from other things in life. And I'm sure you've been finding that to be the same problem for you, huh, Sebastian?
Indeed, I have. I have so many lovely distractions in life, and luckily, I can say if I miss one thing, it's because I'm doing something else that's StarCraft 2 related. But I can only agree with you. And this, it's just not too easy for me to say, because I have been known to say on this show repeatedly how Idra is the tallest midget in the world of StarCraft 2, and that he needs to stop sucking and be less of an unhappy Harry Potter, and etc. etc. And where there is some merit to that when it comes to his previous appearances and gameplay, he was very good as a caster and fairly entertaining in a sort of mellow kind of way. He wasn't trying to be someone else that he was not, but he was actually kind of a nice guy, very insightful. And when Greytorp was lacking, it was there to pick it up. And
Yeah, more like
he
carry
could
in a few
definitely
situations.
profit.
Yeah,
Yeah, definitely. Greytorp is doing a good job, but I think without this is not critique to him as such. It's rather the fact that there are more qualified casters out there on the internet, and Idra turned out to be one of them. So it's good that they're working together, especially considering that irony thing you brought up. So
yeah,
I have to give Idra a lot of credit, and that does not come easily.
yeah. Well, he did win the IGN Pro League Season 1 that took place, and hopefully that's a sign of things to come, where he can start showing his true strength. So hopefully he's been getting things together, I think, and he is a very strong player, no matter what people say about him. And with that segue about the previous season of IGN Pro League, I think we'll jump right into the Season 2. Right now we're in the middle of the qualifiers that are taking place, and as you guys can see up on the screen, we have the current list of pre-qualifiers. These players are already qualified for Season 2, and right now you can tune in as the qualifiers are still going on this week. And if you missed the IGN Pro League from last season, you guys missed out, because it is turning out to be one of the gems in the StarCraft community that just came up out of nowhere, and it really just stole my heart, as I'm sure it did with many other players. So I'm really looking forward to Season 2, and the pre-qualifiers are proving to be quite entertaining. We've had some great casters so far. Ask Joshi, Railcoon is also casting, among some others, but yeah, great stuff so far. And the current qualified players are Idra, Select, Mana, Dystar, Tarson, Destiny, Kiwikaki, Axlav, Ret, Starlife, Vibe, and Phoenix. So quite a group of familiar faces there, I would say. And I'm just staying glued to my computer screen as I'm looking to see what's going to happen with the rest of the qualifiers and see what other big names get entered into the tournament for the Season 2. Any thoughts, Sebastian, on the Season 2 or what we can look forward to from IGN?
I think you covered the details quite excellently there, Iceman. Other than the fact that IGN has proven that if you got the resources, of course, they're a big company, you can hire the right people to create for you an excellent product that is being appreciated by perhaps the most snarky and demanding customer base in the world, hardcore StarCraft 2 players who claim to have been part of the same community since 1998 and truly demand a lot of value. They came out of nowhere, pretty much out of nowhere. They got HD Starcraft and many others on board, and they created an excellent event. The Season 2, that's already underway, more or less, it's going to be excellent. I must admit that I had no idea about the IPL before it was well underway because there's so many leagues and tournaments going on. Yeah, you can't watch it all. So I just put that on the maybe shelf. And then you guys here on GG Rated told me to check it out, and I did. And it's an excellent show. It's an excellent tournament, and it's run in a very good way. Sure, there were some hiccups, brackets being showed beforehand and whatnot, but disregarding the human element, it was an excellent product, excellent tournament, and man, I'm excited about Season 2, which I will follow with great intent. GG to IGN for giving us this awesomeness.
Yeah, well put, and glad you're able to wrap that up verbosely for me. But we have some more really interesting news.
I didn't mean to take over.
No, it's fine. It's just it's funny because you're always like, oh, no, it's fine. You've wrapped it up well, and then you destroy me with even more eloquence. So, GG for that. Always glad to have that.
Well, part of the reason for going into casting is that I like the sound of my own voice. But yes, let's segue into the next topic.
Yeah. MLG and GSL have just recently announced a player exchange program, which is huge, groundbreaking news. This is something that just happened and was just announced, and I think this is going to be something that's going to be quite profitable for both leagues in terms of viewership and interest, as well as money to players who have options to play in different leagues where they wouldn't normally play, I would say. But MLG and GOM TV have just partnered to have a player exchange program where players will go from the GSL to the MLG and from the MLG to GSL, and I believe it's the top 3 players. Yeah, I will read off the information here from the MLG site, so we have the official word. MLG Columbus, the top 3 non-Korean finishers will each be placed into the GSL Code A. At every 2011 Pro Circuit live competition after MLG Columbus, GSL placement will occur as follows. The Code S status will be awarded to the highest placing player within the top 3, regardless of country of origin, and who does not already have Code S status. Code S status will not be awarded if all the players placing 1st through 3rd already have Code S status. Code A status will be awarded to the next 3 highest placing non-Korean players. If Code S status is awarded to a Korean player or not awarded at all, Code A status will also be awarded to the 4th highest placing non-Korean player. And all the traveling and accommodation expenses will be made for the players provided by the GSL. So that's for pro players.
And that's the amazing bit.
Yeah, that's quite fantastic because that's a big chunk of change that is being provided to the players for them. So this is good news all around for everybody. and that's for pro circuit players competing in the GSL. Now for the GSL pro players competing in the MLG will invite 4 Korean pro players to each pro circuit live competition. These players will be placed directly into the championship pools, one into each of the pools. Their placement in the pools will determine by their GSL rank. All travel and accommodation expenses for these players will be provided by MLG. So once again, that's a nice large sum of money that's going to be taken care of for these players. And for MLG Columbus, the MLG will be inviting players from the CSN tournament currently in progress. This player will be seeded into the open bracket, and their travel accommodations and expenses will also be covered. Currently, they have listed the 4 following GSL Pro players who will attend the MLG Columbus, and they are Startail Bomber, I Am Lacira, Slayers MMA, and Fox Moon. So, big news. This is big alliance, I would say, and I'm really, really excited to see how the players are going to mix it up, because we have a nice handful of Korean powerhouse players going to be over here in North America, and we're going to see how they can do on foreign turf for them, as well as a handful of foreign players going over to Korea. So it's going to be a nice mix-up, I would say. Do you have anything you would like to add, Sebastian? Of course you have something you want to add, so
Well,
I'll let you add it.
well, I have nothing to say, but just this is amazing, and you've covered the details so eloquently there, Iceman. And I can only add to that how beautiful it is. And now I'm quoting what the TSL commentator Chill said during the TSL Grand Final cast, that looking back at Brood War, where we all come from, more or less, and then the Korean sphere, where Starcraft was being played at the true professional level, was always another world, and it was only a one-way lens. We looked onto them, up to them, watched their games, tried to learn from it. A few brave souls went over and got trashed, but learned a lot from it and came back, like Tyler and Idra, who stayed for a while longer. And it was always a secluded, separate sphere. And I know me and many others, we talked about how will this change in the future. And we had ideas, but we did not foresee this to happen. It seems like things are merging at a very executive level. Blizzard and GOM TV, high rollers have talked to the venture capitalists behind MLG and decided we need to pour some more money into this. We need to connect these two entities that are otherwise rivaling each other, because they realized there are new leagues popping out from everywhere. I mean, I looked at HD Starcraft's personal invitational. It's got like $1,500 in the total prize pot. And that's getting millions of views every month. Yeah, and then we have the TSL, of course, that's so much bigger, but with very limited resources. People can set up high-profile events that people are watching and who is yielding revenue to someone. So they have come to the agreement and the conclusion that we need to work together here. We are the 2 foremost professional organizations hosting StarCraft 2 and esports events. If we're competing with each other, we will be overshadowed by some nerd in a basement that just knows all the players and get them to play for him on his live stream channel. We need to work together, and it's great to see that. The thing we dreamt about in Brood War, is becoming an international community, is happening. It's beautiful, Iceman.
I agree with you completely. It's really awesome to see the melting pot of players, communities, and high rollers, as you put it, just come together to make StarCraft 2 one of the greatest, if not the greatest, competitive esport today. But man, you're making my job easy here with all these awesome segues that you're providing. And with that segue, you were talking about merging of high rollers, and we have some more merging going on in Stockholm, in your home country of Sweden. And I know that you've been in connections with TLO, and you have some insider information you would like to spill here about the new Stockholm gamer house that TLO has put together over in Sweden. So why don't you let our viewers know about all the epicness that is taking place over there?
Well, thank you, Iceman. I shall provide some information. Of course, there are no news to anybody that TLO is the main person and strategist behind this pro gaming house in Stockholm. That is, as you say, a merged hub for various pro gamers. It's not clan exclusive, as it is in Korea, where there, of course, there's a bigger player base. So this is a fairly, no, fully unique endeavor in the non-Korean world, and it's very much different from the Korean basis in many ways. But this is, of course, well known to everybody by now. I had been alluding to that during the early episodes of GG Rated. And today I talked to TLO, who, by the way, said that he'll be on the show in the future, but today he couldn't because he's playing in the NASL like right now. And that, of course, has precedence. We do accept that.
Of course,
And he said, among other of course, but yes, viewers, TLO has agreed to come on the GG-rated show somewhere in between now, MLG Columbus, DreamHack Summer, and the future. And he said that among many other interesting things that they are planning to do, there's one coming up, I believe, this weekend, which will actually be a unique and in all ways well appreciated event. It will be a charity cast, actually, a 24-hour charity cast taking place this weekend, where TLO and the other members of the Pro Gaming House, Morrow Show, and also HeyPro. We recently got news that HeyPro is returning from Korea, and he will be entering the house this week. Some see that as a failure. I see that as a rebirth, where a player who was very good but at the wrong place is now coming into the right one, and a better one than what he left, because he will be able to thrive in this pro gaming environment. So they will all be doing a charity cast, and the money will go to Doctors Without Borders, and that is indeed a very good charity. And Husky and many other casters will be providing entertainment and coverage of the event, and I think Husky will be doing the official launch. This is not yet official, ladies and gentlemen. You're hearing it here first. And these are the kind of things which are, of course, this is humanitarian, but it's also marketing. I know that TLO is going to talk to Swedish press, Aftonbladet, for those of you who are Swedish who's listening, tomorrow. And this is one way of bringing esports awareness into the mainstream. And this is what the Pro Gaming House is about, more than just allowing pro gamers to practice together and stream more consistently together. It's about extending esports, and you can do that if you collect talent at one place and make it accessible. So they will be doing a charity cast that will raise the awareness of professional Starcraft 2 in Sweden and hopefully beyond. And these are just some of the things we can expect, and they will all be traveling from there to MLG. The whole Liquid party will gather, and then they will return to Sweden, go to DreamHack Summer. It's just going to be like the StarCraft 2 variant of a band that's constantly on tour, and if they're not, we have a live stream window into their studio. Pretty amazing.
Yeah, definitely. And I mean, that's just awesome. Awesome news in more ways than one. So I just got to say woot to TLO for putting together the house, putting
Woot.
together this humanitarian competition, and also for agreeing to come on the GG Rated live show in the future. I know I've chatted with him briefly, but we're both quite busy, and I mean, I'm looking forward to speaking with TLO in person on the show, so we're going to be looking forward to that. And some awesome news that you provided us there from the happenings over there in the Stockholm Gamer House. But I think that about wraps up all of the topics for today. Stars Wars is still going on, I believe. I haven't been able to check out anything from that, but I know you have shoutcasted a couple of those games, so maybe you can just comment on the quality of Stars Wars that's going on, and we'll make sure to tell our viewers to check into the Stars Wars tournament that's still taking place. unfortunately, I've just been so busy with life that I haven't been able to keep up with every major event going on. But for those out there who are looking and seeking for more awesomeness, check out Stars Wars. But Sebastian, anything sweet to look out from Stars Wars?
Absolutely, Iceman. And before I go into those specifics, I'd just like to say that Star Wars is one of those tournaments who do not get the love it deserves simply because it's been packaged in a way that it's slightly too inconvenient for people to open when there's so much awesomeness around. Back in Brood War, the Star Wars used to be a highlight of the year because you knew when it was coming up, like about now, and you knew you would be seeing some different games, some different battles, and your favorite YouTube caster would recast it for you. But of course, nowadays, a year later, things have exploded so much that they're kind of buried in the midst of things. You can watch pretty much all the coverage over at youtube.com/ICCupTV. They provide decent commentary. Now, I'm new in the commentary game and I don't want to diss any other fellow casters, but it's safe to say that these casters are perhaps not the creme of the crop, and even if they were, this is not getting the live stream love and the link juice that more high profile events get, and that's such a shame. But you can get the replays, pretty much all of the replays available, and that's what I've been doing. I've been casting, for example, OGS MC versus Loner and Fnatic Sen versus Startail Ace, and that's available on my channel. The particular Sen versus Ace match on Selnaga Caverns, that was ferocious, and whether you enjoy my commentary or not, make sure you check out that. We're getting some beautiful games because Star Wars, it's supposed to be a country versus country format kind of thing, loosely at the very least. So you get to see Korea versus France, I believe. Yes, just today I casted Slayer's Boxer versus French player Todd, which we haven't been hearing too much from him lately, and that was an epic 30-minute game on Lost Temple that's coming up on my channel on Wednesday. So we're getting a lot of good stuff from Star Wars. It's just not getting enough love from us. So if you're not watching the casts, download the replays.
Yeah, definitely. I'm going to be spamming your channel over the next few days. I'm looking for select matches to watch. But
thank you, Iceman.
Yeah, definitely. People need to check out Star Wars, as it's not getting the link juice, as you put it. I like that. But I think it's just there's such a plethora of tournaments to check out that people are almost lost, or the ones that are so glamorous and get all the glitter are taking up the spotlight. But I mean, that's a good problem to have, so I'm not complaining whatsoever.
It is. A year ago, it was the opposite. All we had was the HGH Invitational and Hope, and now we're being buried.
Yeah.
We just need to invent better shovels.
Yep. I think that's it for this week, guys. That's all the topics we have listed in our document here that we put together to cover. And I'm glad that I was joined once again by my Scandinavian brother, Sebastian here. I was feeling a bit lonely last week, and still a little bit lonely without Hydra back, but hopefully Hydra will be back soon enough. Not sure if we're going to be able to peel him away from his luxurious vacation to join us for all this awesome nerd chatting about Starcraft 2, but it looks like we're going to get some special guests coming on here soon enough, as I've been in contact with a few people on Skype, and just fleshing out things, and also trying to work out the lag issues with my ISP. Seriously, I do not know what's going on, but I'm going to call them and give them an earful soon enough here so we can return to proper form, so our viewers can enjoy all the awesomeness, because people are not going to want to miss the special guests who are going to be coming on later on to our show, and we do not want to deprive them of the awesomeness that's going to take place. So, guys, thanks for staying with us. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
No, I'm just strengthening your point that there will be good stuff coming out of here, and they don't want to miss it.
Yeah, I think there's even a bit of lag between our Skype convo even.
think
My
so.
my poor
Yes.
internet is seeming to crumble over here, so I got to take care of this soon. Otherwise, I'll be getting daggers from people. But anyways, guys, thanks again for tuning in. Thanks for staying with us, and for those who listen to the podcast, we appreciate your viewership in whatever media form you select, and we're going to keep doing what we're doing here. So check out Sebastian's amazing videos that he's got together now with his new computer hardware. He's casting GG Coliseum, I believe it's called, where he selects epic matches and puts them on his YouTube channel, which is Polygon Review. And also keep pace with all the announcements that we're going to be putting out. I'm sure I'm going to start using Twitter more, and add us and spread the word to all your friends about GG Rated, because there's going to be plenty of awesome action coming up from our show in the near future. So stay tuned, guys. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you again next week on episode 16. For myself, the Iceman, GG. See you guys later.
GG!